being removed by the Wolves. What will Gambit go with? Will it be another jungler? It will be Lee Sin taken away. I wonder if Elise is going to be the focus here for Gambit's first pick.
So Evelyn is pretty much always banned against Diamond. He's been one of his main junglers, but yeah, Elise would be an option. He also played Rengar. I mean, there's
let's not forget,
options.
I mean, Gragas could be a big option in there. There's a Maokai ban.
Okay.
Interesting.
Should be Gragas here, though. Gragas for Kubon, where he can really dominate the lane, be very, very strong for the entire T of the game, because Gragas is probably the best top lane pick if you ask the European top laners at the moment.
He is the rabble rouser. That's a very English name for Gragas, of course. So, YoungBuck and Brokenshard. What is he going to do to react to this one? Brokenshard's not been afraid to go with Jarvan a number of times, so he may go towards that. Or will they try and lock in an AD carry and disrupt Genja, or maybe go for one of those big supports?
So maybe actually the bans backfired a little bit from the Copenhagen Wolves. They were probably hoping Gambit would first pick Elise with the 2 jungle bans here, with Maokai being banned away. The reason they didn't ban Gragas because there was no reason for them to not ban Gragas here, and we knew they could play all their junglers, so they were probably hoping for Gambit to take Elise. Didn't happen.
The stealth shockwave bomb is coming their way. That's what they're hoping for. We'll see if it works out with the Orianna and Rengar combo.
Oh, such a good engage comp already from the Copenhagen Wolves, just with those two. If you get onto the AD carry, he doesn't have a flash and you just snare him instantly, he's dead. Orianna will pop him with Rengar every single team fight here. So Gambit needs to pick something to help Genja if they want to protect him in the team fights, unless they want to use him as a sheep and just say, you know what, you can just die and then the rest of us can clean it up if all the engage from Copenhagen Wolves are used onto our AD carry.
Diamond, I can see him typing different things. I think he just... No, don't know what he typed towards the end there. I can see him typing something for the champions. He's not going to select Singed. They've already got a top laner in there. Well, it could be mid lane, who knows? Kha'Zix maybe, though. This is a big deal. I mean, if Genja decides to switch his AD carry, he's got some pretty woeful stats on Caitlyn. Maybe they've been looking at that one. The Eddie-Genja combo has changed things up. Nami, Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix, Kog'Maw.
Very, very nice. Good to see Genja switch up his AD carries. Beforehand, he'd only played Lucian, Caitlyn, and then every other AD carry, 1 game each. So, switching it up a little bit here. It's a very, very strong poke lane they already have here with both Edward and Genja, and a lane where they should be able to dominate against Copenhagen Wolves. And it's something we have seen Gambit like to do in the past, where Diamond then focus on the solo lanes, and you leave Edward and Genja to just do their own thing here. So good lane, good protection from the Nami as well. But Genja needs to be very, very careful in these fights, because Brokenshard, he wants to jump him.
Absolutely, and he's going to be a little unprotected. We've seen Edward get caught down a couple of times by those first bloods. What will the Wolves go with? Is it going to be this Thresh Corki lane? It looks like they're pretty secure with it. You see Unlimited nodding his head. He seems in agreement on it. It seems that Woolite's happy, so it's a pretty standard lane comparison for these two AD carry, both duo lanes. Question is, though, will the Wolves go down the bottom, or will they switch it up?
So because they have Corki, they can go down to this bottom lane and should be able to do just fine in a 2v2 against Gambit here. They always have to be very careful when trading, however, because Nami brings so much sustain and Thresh doesn't bring any heals, which means one bad trade by your AD carry and you might be forced out of the lane here. But Copenhagen Wolves should feel confident enough to send Woolite and Unlimited down to this bottom lane with the Corki pick. And now they already got some mid-game power. Rengar as well, once he hits his level 6 point, just simply becomes stronger and stronger. Before level 6, he's weak, and it's where you can actually punish him a lot. We might see Diamond try it. And if this is going to be singed, should be Gragas mid lane in for Nick.
It's Edward selecting it. We don't
Diamond did it too.
We don't actually know what the top laner is for the Wolves yet, though, so they don't know what they're countering, which would be a ridiculous pick for Singed and Timo.
Always
Kha'Zix is indeed a possibility. Diamond has played this a couple of times. Ziggs is most likely for Nick in that mid lane, and they are both locked in.
So we do have once again Diamond and Kha'Zix. Last time he actually involved his W at level 6, and he focused on poking and slowing down and just kiting. They can do the same thing here now. You have slow from Genja, you have slow from Kubon on Gragas, you have a knockback as well, and of course Ziggs minefield. You have a lot of zone control here from Gambit. As long as you don't get hard engaged on by, let's say, a Rengar and an Orianna, you should be able to kite the Wolves and then simply poke, and once they get low enough, Diamond can jump in, get the reset, and they can just start finishing off people here. But Copenhagen Wolves, because they have this Rengar Orianna comp, can engage onto Gambit unless there's some very good deep ward. So we have to see how Gambit wants to ward. If they do group up early to start sieging down towers, and we also need to see how Copenhagen want to react, because if Brokenshard falls behind and he becomes very squishy, it's easy for Gambit to blow him up instantly as the fight starts, and then the rest of Copenhagen Wolves, it's hard for him to follow up.
I mean, Gambit have incredible wave clear.
Oh yeah.
Well, incredible poke, incredible disengage, you know, there's everything there. Gambit, I feel, have come out well in the picks and bans. Copenhagen Wolves, of course, they've gone with something that they've ran for the last couple of weeks. All they've really changed up is the Rengar, but of course that's comboed with Orianna.
Exactly.
Works very, very well.
Actually really like the Copenhagen Wolves lineup as well, because Mundo against double AP is very good. You can build Spirit Visage as your first item, great for Dr. Mundo. And late game, you are so hard to kill.
Becomes unkillable, yeah.
Unless, of course, there's a hyper carry building Blade of the Ruined King.
Could do work there. We'll see how it works out. And, of course, we'll see how Genja builds. Has one of these team comps managed to sway your votes? That's the question, though. Tweet us hashtag GMB win for Gambit or hashtag CW win for the Copenhagen Wolves to @LOL Esports. And we'll check in game to see if your votes have changed your mind. Remember, it was a 60% vote for the Wolves. We'll see whether the fans that are now watching have been a little bit enlightened by their pick and ban phase.
Very good comps from both teams, to be honest here, but they require, especially Gambit, they have to ward properly. Because if you just start grouping up 4 or 5 members on a tower at Copenhagen Wolves, then it's too easy for Brokenshard to engage and therefore shut down Gambit's poke comp.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The game is about to get underway. Game 1 of 16 this week for the European LCS. And then, of course, that's followed directly by another 16 from Los Angeles for the North American LCS. It is us sat here in Europe. Hey, guys. But in LA. There we go. So, Gambit and the Copenhagen Wolves, what are we going to see? Is there going to be lane swaps? We've seen the Wolves doing it a number of times in the past. We'll see whether Gambit decide to do it, of course. So Kog'Maw works out okay against the Corki. That's really the lane I want to focus on in this game.
Due to the fact they have Nami on the side of Gambit, I actually feel like they can win the poke war against Copenhagen Wolves. And then it's up to Unlimited to actually land the hook here to join in for the fights. Otherwise, he won't be able to do too much other than just auto-attacking onto an Edward. Or set up a gank, of course, with Brokenshard. We saw last week Rengar here, where Kha'Zix played it. He just kept running bot lane after level 6 and just killed Yellowstar over and over. We could see Brokenshard trying to do the same against Edward. But lane swap-wise, it would make sense in the case for Copenhagen Wolves. They do get Dr. Mundo away from this Gragas here, who's very, very strong in the laning phase. But he probably won't be able to kill YoungBuck, actually. He should be able to sustain himself, especially after level 6.
Well, YoungBuck putting as much poke down as he can. He's been traded with fairly well between the two. We are seeing, of course, Brokenshard over at the red buff. Looking like there's going to be no late invades. Yeah, looks like it's pretty safe stuff. Kubon actually went back to base there as well, just to top himself off before he goes back into lane. He's going to get back just about in time to help off Diamond on the blue buff.
And if you do look at the comps here, in terms of like mid-game power spikes, late-game power spikes, on Copenhagen Wolves side, when you have Dr. Mundo and Orianna as your late game, it is very, very scary. Both scale really well into the late game. Corki falls slightly off, but still his mid-game is then very strong, and his laning phase is very good instead. So they have a good mix here on the side of Copenhagen Wolves. And Rengar, of course, once he's level 6 first. Diamond on Kha'Zix, though, wasn't very aggressive last time we saw it. He farmed as well. So it should actually benefit Copenhagen Wolves if both junglers just sit and farm to level 6, especially if Diamond evolves his W again at level 6, because it means his ganks are very weak, or at least his damage is a lot lower than what it normally is. He will, of course, get the extra slow on his W, but that's about it.
Well, Genja, of course, going to try and hit level 2 first. Ooh, Eddie is not shy of going aggressive. Speaking of aggressive, this top lane have actually worked both of their hit points down pretty well. YoungBuck just going to have to dodge those barrels. It's going to be a pretty hot-footed game for him in this top wave to avoid all of the damage Kubon has. And Kubon should not be eating such easy cleavers like that.
Well, it makes a lot of sense as long as you block a CS, because YoungBuck wants to stand in the back and just try and throw it. But this time I just hit Kubon. There wasn't any CS, I believe he was actually trying to hit here. But yeah, you want to zone him away and you want to take the cleavers as long as you're healthy enough to deny him getting the CS and therefore try and delay Dr. Mundo get to his late game tank point. But Gambit, I mean, they're pretty good all around. Good laning phase, the mid game is fine because you have Gragas, Ziggs as well, and then your late game, because you have Genja on a hyper carry and Ziggs as well, who scales really well into the late game, is strong as well. They just have to play the teamfights properly and make sure they kite and poke before they go all in.
Kubon Going fairly deep, getting that ward down early on Diamond. Diamond, of course, saw the position of it, so he's going to know the timing on that one. Brokenshard, can he go for a gank? Will First Blood come the Copenhagen War's way? He's just one ferocity stack off getting that complete stun out, which is what he's almost certainly going to be aiming to do. Could be followed by a Thresh hook, or started with a Thresh hook. That would put them in serious, serious trouble. Instead, he's going to back off. Yeah,
he shouldn't actually have gone bot lane here. He should have gone back to his own jungle, kept farming, because the lane down this bottom lane was pushed all the way into the tower. The best he could have hoped for, absolute best scenario, was forcing a flash. Sure, it would have been great, but you're still using a lot of time here where you're not farming, and you want to hit your level 6. You want to get stacks as well towards your Feral Flare on this Rengar. So it's all about farming. Diamond, though, coming in towards Sorren.
Oh, he managed to get the stun and interrupt on him. Better damage traded, nothing blown. I just wanted to try and force that ultimate out from him, the flash out from him. Genja hooked up there, good bubble follow-up, but Genja wasn't reading the same wavelength there and didn't follow up with any damage. He is just instead content to get on that CS farm. Even between the two, actually, both AD carries trading pretty well so far.
Yeah, it's a good hook by Unlimited. It's the way he can always join in and make sure Woolite gets a lot of easy damage. Though, nice dodge here. And I do like the fact we follow the bottom lane so much, because normally with Gambit, you talked about it earlier, we see a lot of early action and it often backfires. We have seen them die very early on, fall behind. Now it's all about the top lane, however. Diamond once again looking for a gank.
Well, Kubon does manage to get the belly slam on him. Good flash burn out from YoungBuck. Have they got the damage to follow it through? He's going to get slowed down in this one. Diamond flash for it. Kubon flash for it. First blood could come in. It's the belly slam from Kubon that will get it. Unlimited now. He gets caught out. Aqua Prison. Eddie should be getting away from this one. Woolite's going to follow through. Woolite, in fact, gets the kill on there. It's Unlimited with the Ignite that got the kill. They're trading so well. Genja falls back and Unlimited lived.
So much action here all of a sudden, but Copenhagen was the guy to kill in the bottom lane. However, YoungBuck up in his top lane here. He died. Nice setup by Kubon. He lands the first slow and the knockback, and then Diamond joins in. And once you get slowed so far up the lane, it's very, very hard to escape. So a lot of action, and funny enough, we just talked about how the bottom lane from Gambit, it often backfired. All the action early game just gave up a kill.
Well, we'll see how this one works out at the moment. It is fairly even, but with your AD carry only getting the assist, they would have hoped that Woolite could have got that kill, but well, if it dies to a tick to ignite, then it's the only AD carry's own fault. Sure, they'd blame them nonetheless. If it was solo queue, you'd get blamed. Like, oh my god, you got to steal from me. So, Kubon.
It's the life of supports in Soul League.
Life of supports is hard, that's for sure. Kubon did, of course, burn his flash, so I wonder if there's going to be any repercussions from that one, whether Brokenshard's maybe going to pay a visit up here. YoungBuck, though, in trouble. Did go with the Negatron Cloak early on. Not the Negatron Cloak, it's the it is the Negatron Cloak. I'm second guessing by himself into the cowl, so he's going to try and start that one off. Brokenshard now with the Frosty stacks up. Could get a stun onto Nick if he goes for it.
But he's actually slightly behind compared to Diamond in terms of XP, and we did see him go bottom lane early. Didn't work out, nothing happened because the lane was already pushed in, and he's actually been losing a lot of time because he's been running around the map instead of just straight up farming. He lost his Wraith camp earlier to Diamond as well. So he's slightly behind farming. He needs to get this level 6 point so he can help his lanes, because YoungBuck up in his top lane, he's in trouble again.
Yeah, he's had to use his ultimate to try and keep himself topped off with the health there. Kubon, of course, used his ulti to just force him away. They just wants to simply bully YoungBuck out the lane. I don't think he had an intention. Well, he would have liked to have killed him, but I don't think it was certainly the intention of him. Brokenshard, though, getting that red buff, that's going to be needed for if you can try and start some of these ganks off. Meanwhile, Diamond want to see how he evolves. Of course, speaking of evolution, we should keep our eyes on the combo, because remember, Diamond and Brokenshard have themselves their own little quest in the game. When they hit level 16, it will pop between Kha'Zix and Rengar, and we'll see whether Diamond maybe can get that extra kill and get his 4th evolution in the game. Of course, that's a long way off. We've got a long way to get there. There's a great hook on Genja this time around from Unlimited. Aqua Prison not following through. Brokenshard stealthed up, jumping in. Hasn't got a Frosty stacks there. Misses the stun on Kubon. Kubon actually going huge here. He could try and 2v1 them. He's going to try and turn it around. Gets the belly slam on both of them. No help though. Kubon's in trouble. He's going to go down. They finally get the kill, but if there was any little hint of help from Gambit, he would have been 2v1 easy.
This might cost a blue buff here. We actually see Diamond before. He did involve his W again, so focusing on poking and just kiting with the rest of the team to get the extra slow. And of course you can hit now more missiles onto the people here. But up in his top lane, Brokenshard finally got his level 6 and instantly went up to help YoungBuck. We talked about how he had some troubles against Gragas, also with the early gank from Diamond, and now they managed to get a kill. Over to Brokenshard as well. Not too bad from Copenhagen Wolves.
Well, trade here between Genja and Woolite once again. Unlimited taking some abuse. Genja being a little aggressive here, actually happy to trade. Woolite, of course, with the CS advantage built up right now. And the fact that he has got that Sheen is giving the extra burst of damage required. So Diamond stole away the blue buff. That's going to put problems for Sorren in that mid lane. We'll see whether he does anything about it. You can see him waiting in the tri-bush. He's unseen so far. If he gets across, he will get spotted by the ward if he hits that river's edge. Brokenshard, meanwhile, hasn't been seen by that ward just off the side there. Has not got his ultimate available, so he's going to try and sneak in towards that bush. There's no ward there. And this could be a 3v3.
Let's see. Scanning it just to check. No ward. But still, once again, Gambit there pushed all the way into the own tower. So Brokenshard is there for counter gank.
Look at that
because
timing.
He expected Diamond to be here, and he is here. And now Brokenshard already backed away.
The ward timed out. Unlimited gets slowed again. Aqua Prison catches him. He's going down. Who will get the kill? This time it's Genja.
Nice, he needs to kill. So Brokenshard, he actually went down first because he expected Diamond to be in this bottom lane, but he didn't want to wait, so he just moved away back up to his own jungle, and then as soon as the ward disappeared, Diamond moved in here. And a very important kill onto Genja, who was slightly behind in CS because he was forced back earlier, where Copenhagen got the kill onto Edward. But they're still keeping up really well. And now Gambit, they just want to get as much farming kills onto Genja, of course.
Some great timing on those wards. I'm guessing that would have been Edward that would have spotted that ward placement and just timed it out. YoungBuck, got to be careful in this top lane. Kubon now up to level 8, equaling that, of course, with that catalyst. He's topping himself up every time he levels up here. YoungBuck, though, is going to get stronger and stronger. He's going for that Spirit Visage early on. Brokenshard still waiting. He missed his chance early on, and he's going to miss his chance again because you can see the bottom lane is backing off. So he's just wasting a lot of experience while he hangs around. And of course, Diamond, he's farming up a storm and heading
Could be
to
Dragon,
the top.
however. Could be Dragon for Copenhagen was because the bottom lane from Gambit just recalled. Even in the mid lane, Nick wants to recall at this point here. Sorren is low on mana, but they don't really need him to take it, and everyone from Gambit now recalled. So easy Dragon for Copenhagen Wolves.
Nice turnaround. That's going to give them the gold advantage. It should. When they turn this one back in. There we go. Gold advantage goes their way. It's only a tiny one, but it's what counts, and it's the first big objective of the game for the Wolves.
Alright, so just going back now to standard lane still. Brokenshard wants to get as many stacks as possible. But Diamond now, he's actually been pretty active on Kha'Zix. Gank up in the top lane, been down to this bottom lane as well. And secured a kill first for Kubon up in his top lane, now for Genja down his bottom lane. So good start from Diamond, making sure all the ganks he's done really counts.
Well, there's a bit of a difference in builds right now between the two AD carries, and that's simply, there's a little bit of extra CS, and of course that global gold from the Dragon. It's give Woolite a bit of a lead in items. You can see he's got that full Sheen item completed. Teleport comes out. YoungBuck, he goes back to buy, gets the Spirit Visage complete. And he should be fairly safe now farming against Kubon, who himself has just been back to complete the Rod of Ages.
Okay, so early Rod of Ages here from Kubon to make sure he can now get his stacked as early as possible. I wonder if he wants to build full AP after the Rod of Ages, like we sometimes or normally see on Gragas, especially in poke comps. But we have seen a lot of different build styles. I mean, we've seen full tank Gragas, we've seen Iceborne Gauntlet after the Rod of Ages, and you just become this like chase machine. Every time you hit someone, you slow them, and you can just keep chasing, which is also very strong. However, against the Dr. Mundo, you don't really need the armor. It's more about the magic resist. How about some of the damage from his cleavers?
Nick looking like he wants to start causing some problems on Sorren there. Tried to burst down the wave as quick as possible to get this blue buff. Don't look like there's going to be any interruptions from the Wolves. Remember, Diamond stole away the blue buff last time around, so we'll see whether he goes back around there for the timings. There is a pink ward on it currently from the Wolves, so they will see it coming.
TP.
Teleport for Kubon coming around the backside. It's Woolite he was looking for, but instead he's going to take an easy kill off Unlimited. That'll go to Genja.
Alright, so 2 kills on Genja now. There's no Dragon, however. So Kubon couldn't actually follow up after his teleport, but it was all about getting a second kill onto Genja here. See if they can force Woolite out of the lane as well, because he's farming really well. They need someone to go up here and clear. Diamond is already moving towards this top lane here. So we actually finally see some synergy on the side of Gambit here. So we make a move in the bot lane, and we already know the next step is Diamond U run straight to top lane to make sure YoungBuck won't be able to damage our tower, and we constantly plan what's the next step. And it's been working out for Gambit here, at least in terms of kills. They still lose the dragon, but he's looking good here. And two early kills on Genja is not bad.
Blue buff has spawned. It looks like Sorren's going to get this one fairly easily. No mistakes made this time around. So, bottom lane, back down there, of course. Genja yet to go back and spend some of that gold that he's been accruing. He's up to 1,200 now. He's trying to get towards that Trinity Force as quick as possible. And of course, Dragon will be the next focus target for both of these teams. We'll see whether they can get that Triforce complete before it spawns. There's a full 2 minutes, so it's possible both could be ready for that one. Top lane, we do see Kubon having a little poke around. Ward will get replaced. YoungBuck, though, still happy to just keep on farming, and he's keeping up good record, of course, while he didn't joining that party down the bottom lane. He has been fairly successful with his own teleport, getting that assist, and got himself a slight CS lead. Of course, Kubon getting that kill will slightly be ahead in goal.
So he hit the point we mentioned earlier where Dr. Mundo simply becomes unkillable for Gragas, especially because you build Spirit Visage as your first item on Dr. Mundo here. So the only thing Kubon can actually do in the lane is just clear it, and then use his teleport to get a dragon or make a play in this bottom lane and just constantly push the lane in. They need to send more members up if they want to stop YoungBuck from farming. And if he just gets to stand here by himself, farm for the next 10-15 minutes, then he will become very hard to deal with.
Speaking of items, check out Brokenshard right now. He's going a little unorthodox in his build, switching across. Got the Lucidity boots in there early. And of course that Negatron Cloak, he is up against a lot of magic damage, so no surprises he needs to get that Negatron Cloak in, but he's got in fairly early here, looking to be the assist. He's already popped his ultimate, didn't really need it around there, as Genja's going to be the focus target, didn't have the Ferocity stacks available, so didn't get the stun. Eddie was caught out instead to kill nonetheless, but they would have much preferred Genja.
Such a good setup here, and you can do it over and over on Rengar. Land a snare, easy hook for unlimited, and someone is just chain CC'd and they will die. The only way to avoid it for Gambit is if they move into the jungle of Copenhagen walls and get some deep wards to spot Brokenshard and move in before he stealth. As soon as he pops the stealth, it's very hard to react here. Woolite looking for the dive, possibly onto Genja, but Diamond showed himself down his bottom lane, and Dragon, still 1 minute, so yes, another kill now for Copenhagen Wolves, but still no Dragon they can actually take from it. So both teams, with the junglers, has been trading kills back and forth.
Trying to steal away the red buff, not going to work out. Lantern was thrown out by Unlimited, and they know full well that Brokenshard is in there. Unfortunately, Nick didn't land their mines in the correct position. We'll just throw them out to protect that pink ward. 4 members of the Wolves now in the jungle of Gambit. Gambit are going to react. They've got 4 of their own in there, but they are a little lower on health. They have to back off. Remember that dragon up in 40 seconds time. That's what everybody is posturing for right now. Teleport will not be available for Kubon when this dragon spawns.
It's a very big deal. He needs to push out the top lane and then just move down towards the dragon if Gambit actually wants to fight. But there's a lot of good wards here from Copenhagen Wolves in the jungle of Gambit to spot, okay, how many members are here? Is anyone moving away from the dragon and then possibly start it? It also sets up a nice engage for Brokenshard, because if he can see Gambit standing behind the dragon pit and know exactly where they are in their own jungle, the rest of the Copenhagen Wolves can follow him in stealth and just try and surprise Gambit, because there's only 1 ward in the river from Gambit's side, so they won't be able to see when Brokenshard actually starts his stealth, and then it might be too late to react.
So there's the dragon, just spawned up. Of course, we did see Kubon. He's been back to base and he's heading straight to the mid lane. He wants to come and join in for this dragon, gets himself a Negatron Cloak and Source Boots now completed. Meanwhile, YoungBuck still in that top lane, clearing that wave, has got teleport. Sunfire Cape not quite ready though.
Brokenshard wants to set up another kill in this bottom lane so they can take the dragon afterwards, so he went straight down, sat ready to stealth up once again, and possibly go for it with a Genja. There's no flash on Genja's side. Gambit are over there to start this dragon, and Copenhagen Wolves, they need to TP now if they want to contest it.
Yeah, they've not reacted quick enough. That's going to go down. Diamond secures that one with the smite. He's now a little bit out of position. Has to pop his own stealth. He's going to come around. Brokenshard using that stun. The Frosty stacks. The death sentence is indeed does what it says on the tin. Locks him down. Now coming down. YoungBuck teleports in. Gets straight on towards Edward. Explosive cast. Not enough to force him away. Belly slap comes out from Kubon. Just destroys him. Sorren now running away. Unlimited caught out. Genja pulling the damage down. He flashes in towards the pit. Eddie's having to kite around. YoungBuck catches him out. Nick with next to no mana though. He's in trouble here. They're trying to chase on towards YoungBuck, but he's such a tanky foe. Genja may have enough to try and shred him down, but there's the Lantern pulling him to safety. It's a 2 for 2, and the dragon goes to Gambit.
Dragon went to Gambit here. There was no ward for YoungBuck to actually teleport on. We talked about how there was some good deep ward from Copenhagen Wolves. They just didn't have any ward in the river for YoungBuck to actually join straight in on the fight. And he was standing at Baron, waiting for someone to place a ward so he could join him, but it was too late. Dragon was gone, and Gambit now putting some pressure on this mid lane.
They may be able to force this one out. I don't think defensive duties should be enough here. Copenhagen Wolves will clear them out there. So, everybody backs away. Check this out.
So notice here, Brokenshard, he's going towards Genja because there's no flash, but he won't be able to reach him in time, and simply says, okay, Diamond, you're next to me, snare him. Easy kill for Copenhagen Wolves. YoungBuck, he was forced to teleport so far behind the members of Gambit, he couldn't be there for the first engage, joined in afterwards. And then he's actually chasing Edward instead of staying with the rest of the team. And then I'm trading to Brokenshard though.
Kubon in trouble. He has to flash away. YoungBuck's going to chase him down. Belly slams away. Should be enough. Cleave will not land. YoungBuck's going to have to tower dive this one. Gets the slow. Explosive gas pulls him away. And Kubon gets the safety.
Such a nice dodge here. You might be a fat man, but you can still dance. Beautiful dodge around the cleaver. And Copenhagen Wolves actually missed out on a kill. Still keeping it 5-5. And Gambit ahead and goal because of the dragon they got before.
Well, this game is certainly starting to open up. 5-5 in kills, just 1,000 gold separating them. Dragon apiece. Absolutely everything on the line here. Remember Gambit, they need to go 4-0, and the Wolves themselves need to go 4-0 if they're to chase down Roccat. So both teams desperate for a win in this opening game of Super Week. It would be a big telling difference. The Wolves trying to shut out Gambit. Gambit, of course, desperately not wanting to fight. Finished last in the league. Blue Wolf goes to Sorren. He's going to come across. Let's have a look at these, actually. We haven't really talked about the mid lanes because it's been a fairly passive affair. And they're actually both up to, what, level 14 now. They've been sticking around in that lane phase. It's a very long laning phase, actually, 20 minutes into this game.
Some very standard builds. It looks like Sorren might actually go for Hourglass as his second item in the game here. Against all the poke from Gambit, I wouldn't actually say it's the best item here. Sure, you can use it against the Ziggs ult, but there's so much magic damage as well on the side of Gambit and Hourglass. Might not be the best option. We could see him just build Death Cap instead. On the side of Gambit, however, I wouldn't be surprised to see an Hourglass from Nick after he completes his Death Cap and his Void Staff to make sure if Brokenshard jumps him, pop it instantly, avoid all the burst and all the engage from the Wolves, and then you start kiting afterwards.
Now, of course, these junglers, we can see aggressive build coming out of Diamond now, completed that Brutalizer along with the Elder Lizard. The boots and mobility wants to speed himself around the map. Meanwhile, Iron Locket has been completed by Brokenshard, who is once again going to be joining this 3-on-3 action in the bottom half of the map.
There's a very good ping ward here by Unlimited to make sure Brokenshard can go all the way into the bush and then he can set it up. Both junglers, however, are down this bottom side. Let's see, they're going for it. Get your flash away.
Death Sentence didn't catch. Look at the damage on Woolite there, actually. I think that was simply Genja trading with him. And they forced him away. They are both very low. Brokenshard still hanging around, hasn't backed off yet. So he may well try and run interference here. Unlimited caught out with the Acropis, and here comes Brokenshard, pounces in. The thinking straight up back on towards him. Doesn't manage to land this way. Oh, he's got the stun available. Diamond comes in. Lancer comes around there. Explosive cast forces him back in towards him. Belly slap cast down. Ziggs bomb comes in.
Kill.
And Nick gets himself the kill. Now Unlimited, he goes down. Genja gets the kill. And Gambit come out 2 for 0.
And we have often talked about Kubon not performing well enough up in this top lane here, but this game, he's doing really well. Nice TP in, and as soon as the lantern was taken by Brokenshard, Kubon's like, nope, you're not gonna get away. Throws both of them back towards Gambit here. We're just gonna see it again. First engage, pop onto Unlimited. Genja actually going aggressive. It's the call time now for Brokenshard. Jumps in, misses the E, hits the minion right in front of him, so it doesn't get a slow onto Genja, but it's all about the TP. Beautiful ult by Kubon. Knocks both Brokenshard and Unlimited back here, and then Diamond, the rest of Gambit as well, can just finish off the kills. Very nice setup here. And again, Gambit playing as a team, setting up a very nice TP here, knew exactly when to do it. And yes, they lost the top tower, but still, they keep getting kills onto Genja.
Yeah, 2 great Aqua Prisons as well, setting everything up there. So Diamond, as you mentioned, YoungBuck, sorry, taking that top tower while that all happened. So you could argue 2 kills for a tower, maybe okay, especially when it goes to your AD carry, who is now 3-0-3 on that Kog'Maw, and you can see already how aggressive he's actually playing. This is something we've been asking so many times from Genja. Once he plays aggressive, it actually works out. Well, sometimes not always works out when he goes a little too ham, but Edward alongside him has worked wonders. And now at 3-0-3, with over 90% of the kills happening in this bottom lane, looks like, looking at the map, it may well happen again.
And it's the first time in many, many games from Gambit where we see Diamond and the rest of the team put a lot of focus on helping Genja and Edward down this bottom lane, because they know they are often the target for ganks, they're often the target for aggressive trades. So if you join in with TP or your jungler, you can often pick up some kills, and it's been working for them. Now going towards this dragon, YoungBuck does have teleport. There's a ward from Copenhagen Wolves. Actually, no, it's the green ward, so now he can finally TP in and join. But first, he can just push the wave all the way into the tower in this top lane.
Oh, Unlimited caught out of position, has to flash away from that one. YoungBuck, meanwhile, holding in the top lane, not teleporting in just yet. The rest of Gambit move back into position at the dragon. Keep your eyes on YoungBuck, of course. See when he joins.
Yes,
Here it comes. Teleport comes around the side. Unlimited already executed off the side there. Diamond jumps in, gets a mass slow on all of them. Explosive cast forces Sorren back into the team. Belly slam on him. Ziggs bomb comes bouncing through, and he is just annihilated where he stands. Now, Brokenshard, he's running away. The rest of Gambit can chase as they please, and it's another 2-0. Dragon's still alive, though. Hasn't gone down, and the Wolves simply trying to run interference. I don't think they can prevent this one, though. Brokenshard is alive. It'll have to be a death sentence of a smite if he wants to go for it. YoungBuck, he's got to be careful. He's Aqua prisoned down. The rest of Gambit may try and chase back onto him. Instead, it looks like he will be safe.
And what Gambit is once again doing really well here on the dragon, they did the same thing on the last dragon, is they make sure they group in the river very fast, put up a few wards, and then they start poking. They simply start poking onto Copenhagen Wolves. The Wolves, they keep delaying the teleport from YoungBuck. They want to make sure he can push the wave all the way down, and once Gambit start the dragon, he will TP in. But by that time, Gambit has had so many options to land the poke onto Copenhagen Wolves. This time it paid off because they killed Unlimited before the fight even started, just with Nick poking onto him, finishing him in the very end, and therefore getting Dragon again from Copenhagen Wolves or from Gambit and a kill. So looking very good, and because they keep grouping up early here, land all the poke, and Copenhagen Wolves let them do it, it's hard for the Wolves to actually engage onto them.
Let's talk about Nick. He's been quietly going about his business now, 4-0-1. Genja, of course, completed that Trinity Force early on. Looks like he's going for the Blade of the Rune King second as well.
Good choice.
So, actually building what's perceived as the correct way on Kog'Maw. Woolite, of course, looks like Infinity Edge will be his second item. At the moment, team fight-wise, Gambit absolutely look much stronger, much more organized when they need to happen. Of course, YoungBuck, he's been having his own little game in that top lane. He's farming well, keeps on pushing, and that's exactly what he needs to do. He needs to start creating some pressure that Kubon can't keep joining these fights, but at 2-1-4, you can tell Kubon's been involved in the majority of the plays that Gambit have made.
And now Gambit do have Void Staff on Nick, so we could see them start grouping up now and start pushing down towers and force Copenhagen into a fight because Sorren is behind compared to Nick. However, due to the fact they don't have Blade yet on Genja, actually means they probably don't feel confident enough to do it. Never mind, Genja is already moving up here good. So we do actually see Gambit group early with the siege comp they have. I say early, 26 minutes in, but still, because they have Void Staff on Nick, they are very, very strong now.
But this is different. I mean, last week Gambit just played so passive and just sat back, sat back, sat back. They finally are the ones that are pushing forward. It's the Gambit everybody knew when they used to be so aggressive. Not quite the aggression that they used to measure, but they're still doing the job. They're going to poke down this turret. You can see they're working down. Woolite taking low. Just flashed out the last second there, but that will be the mid turret, the first one of the game for Gambit. And they can keep on putting the pressure down. This is the problem. They've got such a strong siege comp. It's causing massive problems for Wolves already.
It's a big issue for Copenhagen. Brokenshard actually popped his ulti, but he couldn't engage in time because Woolite were forced to flash away. Sorren took a lot of damage as well. And Copenhagen Wolves, with their wave clear they do have, Orianna needs to get very close to the waves before she can clear it with the ball, and then opens up for bubble or poke from Gambit, and therefore make it very risky for Sorren to actually wave clear if Gambit is sieging up on a tower.
So top lane now, that's got to be protected. YoungBuck not got teleport, so that may well be a free tower for Gambit as he keeps pushing in towards it. You can see actually reactions from the Wolves pushing in there. Genja meanwhile working down this bottom turret. Keeps getting those extra shots. That will go down. That's the second one of the game for Gambit. The third one of the game falls. That's the top turret. Now all outer turrets are down. and Gambit starting to apply the pressure on the map for the Wolves.
And now they just need to keep the pressure going here because Nick is so far ahead, because Genja can go back and complete his Blade of the Ruined King, and they have all this poke. They need to just go back in, up to the next tower, do the same thing, get wards on the sides to make sure they can spot Brokenshard engaging or when he pops his stealth, and then they can start moving away from the tower, disengage. Once the ulti is gone from Brokenshard, the engage from Copenhagen Wolves is non-existent.
Well, Nick, he's going to head on back. Let's see what. He's got nearly 1,600 gold.
Could be Hourglass.
Absolutely could be the start of the Zhonya's Hourglass. He's going to start off with that rod. Why else would you not? Dragon up in just over 2 minutes' time. That's not the focus just yet, but he is just starting to set it up. There's not a lot of ward coverage from either team right now. It's kind of patchy at best. It's really a case of Gambit just putting some pressure down. The Wolves going to try and quickly pressure out this mid turret, but it's very, very hard to push against the Ziggs.
Yeah, Ziggs says hello, and your minions are dead. And notice Sorren here. He wants to get an Hourglass, but he also wants to get a Void Staff. He's been building both, and therefore delays whatever item he actually wants to complete. First, it should be his Void Staff. The Hourglass is good, but the Void Staff is going to be more important here to try and just blow people up from Gambit. While there's not a huge amount of magic resist, there's still enough on the side of Diamond, even Kubon, and now Edward, of course, with the Locket.
Oh, Nick got out. There's the combo. That's what they were looking for. Ziggs goes down. The Brokenshard and Shockwave combo of Sorren. Maybe, just maybe done enough. They're going to push in. This mid turret taken low. That's going to be the ultimate down. That's one tower down. They can keep on pushing here. But you see teleport coming in. Kubon now joins the fight, and he can clear waves just as well. Aqua Prison landing perfectly on Woolite there. Was followed up by the explosive gas. Diamond just waiting off the side there. Does throw out his rocket. The wave comes riding on through, not really putting the damage down. Diamond looking to pounce on this one. Will they follow through? YoungBuck's taking low. Pounced off the side. The ultimate comes out of Unlimited to help them disengage, and they should get away free. But 20 seconds is on the Dragon timer, and Gambit will have positional advantage. They're all backing off, everybody going back to base, everybody topping off their health, but there was a lot of ultimates used from both sides before this Dragon fight.
Also about time now for Nick to get back alive, and once again, Gambit instantly moving in. You just talked about how they now have a better position to get up the wards. They already have a few to spot everything Copenhagen Wolves will do or can do to move into this river here and just land a poke. Notice YoungBuck, however, he just teleported down behind. Place the ward on the Dragon. Let's see. Oh, they might be dropped. There's only 3 members from Gambit here.
Bad pounce from Diamond. Oh, YoungBuck completely, as you mentioned, comes in solo. He's delaying them as best he can as the rest of the Wolves minute. Shockwave just came out of cooldown. Eddie going to get caught out. Doesn't have his wave. He's going to get dropped down. Now Kubon trying to catch on towards Brokenshard. He's low. Mega Inferno Bomb. Not enough to finish him off. Diamond flashes in and gets that one down. He's going to have to reset. There's a giant wave on the bottom lane. Of course, that's going to cause problems for the inner turret. Look at Nick and Genja waiting for this one. YoungBuck still at full health though, but Genja should be able to tank him down fairly well. The rest of Copenhagen Wolves trying to bully them away from the Dragon. And Gambit, well, they're going to have to back off for now, and the Wolves have to deal with this side wave.
But this is still going to be the issue for Gambit. YoungBuck at the moment is very, very tanky, and he's just going to get even tankier going into the late game as well, going to the real late game points. He just went straight into 3 members of Gambit, tanked everyone, got back to full health with his own ulti, and unless Genja is there to actually kill him, nobody from Gambit can take him down.
Gambit moving for the Dragon. Side wave has been dealt with. The rest of the Wolves are going to collapse around them. There's 3 on 3, but the smite is not available for the Wolves, so it should be easily secured by Gambit. They're defensively in the corner, but you don't fight a backed up Gambit, that's for sure. The Russians will come out for a fight. Woolite turns around, tries to get the aggression back down. Now Woolite, YoungBuck getting caught out with the Aquabris, and Gambit will disengage. But now that Kubon's joining the party, they may fancy this fight. Unlimited forefront, he's going to take a lot of damage. The Mega Inferno Bomb doesn't really be effective, and Gambit still back away. The Wolves, they may try and push the mid turret from this one.
They should do it here, but Gambit, they do have time to recall. The minion wave is still in the middle here, and once again, Dragon for Gambit. I picked up, I believe, was it the 4th Dragon for Gambit now?
3rd, I believe.
3rd, okay. So one more, and they've actually tied what they got last week in both games. So looking good for Gambit, at least in terms of Dragon. Control, now Copenhagen Wolves decided they couldn't actually push the mid wave. The minion wave wasn't there, and just recalls, and once again we reset, see what's going to happen next.
Well, they all walked over that ping ward, which gave Gambit full vision, exactly knowing that the Wolves are backed off, so they are completely safe in their jungle right now. So Nick gets himself his own blue buff. We'll see how it works out. Zhonya's Hourglass was picked up a while back for Sorren as well. Trinity Force and Infinity Edge, of course, was completed by Woolite. Looks like it's going towards the Bloodthirster, maybe next item for him. So, let's have a look across the board. Nothing unusual, or too unusual, coming out from any item builds just yet. Pinkwood finally found out. That will get discovered and cleared. Diamond, now with his Banshee's Veil, will be a little bit more secure when he starts pouncing in and should not get caught out too much by Sorren.
Him and Kubon are the two tanks here, but they are still fairly squishy in terms of tankiness. Brokenshard though going in.
Well, used his ultimate and he has to bait himself to get in there. Quickly gets caught out straight with the Acropism. And that ultimate is now down on cooldown. YoungBuck taking a lot of damage, but the Lantern pulls him to safety. His Sadism topping off his health. That was 2 ultimates burned by the Wolves trying to chase that one out. Meanwhile, Diamond still hangs on to his Banshee's Veil. Nothing really used from Gambit. They can push forward.
It's what they can do as long as they avoid the very first engage from Copenhagen Wolves and get completely destroyed by a good shockwave from Sorren. They can just keep kiting back again and again and then slowly move forward, land some poke, and now if they do get in a bad situation, because the ulti from Brokenshard is already gone, they can just go back to their own base, heal up, and start doing the same thing again here. It's all about the engages from Brokenshard. Very good ward by Edward up here. You can just see it in the top of your screen on the right side where Brokenshard is standing. Just make sure they can spot him and see if he starts his stealth now. Rest in peace, ward.
Yeah, Diamond continuing to put those Void Spikes down. I think it's actually Diamond that snuck it in the corner there as well, so he can keep their Void Spikes, keep poking from range, not really doing the damage that he'd hoped for just yet, but they have forced him away from this tower. They need Genja to step forward and start actually hitting the damn thing. There we go. Starts to take it down. Once he gets on it, that tower will fall very quickly. The rest of Copenhagen Walls will fall away. And that is another inner turret. First one of the game for Gambit.
Once again, Gambit just grouping up 5 members. You don't even have to hit Copenhagen Wolves, you just place the barrel from Kubon, you place the minefield from Nick, just zone them away from the tower and make sure Genja can always hit it. And just with some time, it will go down. Now let's see here. Once again, we do see some good wards from Gambit to try and spot Brokenshard when he moves around and looks for the engages. Was the reason also before they could actually disengage because they knew he was coming towards them. And they played it very, very safe. Copenhagen Wolves are over. Still just looking to buy some time for YoungBuck to get even more tanky because they are so far behind now. It's hard for them to actually teamfight. They need to catch someone from Gambit out of position.
Watching Brokenshard there, wasn't taking the gold of the wave, just knocking it down so Sorren could come in. So they're trying to get Sorren farmed up, it seems, or desperately want to keep him up. But he, as you can see in terms of gold, he's a full 1,500 gold behind on Nick. Next target potentially could be Baron. I think this is just simply setting up for it, positioning rather than actually starting it off for Gambit. They are 5 members in position. YoungBuck, meanwhile, is down the bottom lane. He's going to keep on shoving that wave. Somebody will have to deal with him because he's going to start pushing his waves quicker and quicker.
Kubon needs to go down to this bottom lane. He has teleport ready, so I'm not sure why he was at the Baron, unless, of course, they just want to straight up start it. And now let's see. Copenhagen Wolves, Woolite was actually back in base, so it could be a very good move by Gambit here.
Yeah, it's taken out to half. There's the teleport. YoungBuck comes in. I think they're just going to throw down some mines, and the Baron will turn onto YoungBuck, and they will peel off. Diamond caught out of position here, singled out, and he's in trouble. He's taking all the damage. Can he kite it around though? Stealths up, gets a heal. Brokenshard baited in and taken down. Now Sorren gets blown in there. Sonya's Hourglass used, but he's going to simply get pounced on, and that will be a double for Nick. Now the rest of the Wolves, you can see Unlimited having to use his ultimate to keep them away, but Gambit just moved back into position and start the Baron off.
So Gambit, they started the Baron to force the teleport out of YoungBuck, and as soon as he poured it in, they just backed away from Baron. He took a lot of damage. They're going in again.
Diamond pounces in. Unlimited catches a death sentence on Kubon, not the fat man he was looking for. YoungBuck now focused on Eddie, manages to get the heal finally off. Nick chases down and kills out the AD carry of Woolite. And Copenhagen Wolves, we said they just had to be passive. They just had to sit back and watch the game play out and try and make the decisions based on that. But instead, they went aggressive. They tried to force a move out, and Gambit happily capitalized with the Baron.
And again, the engage from Brokenshard is onto Diamond. He was all alone. He didn't get onto a squishy member. Diamond almost went down, but as soon as he jumped away, the rest of Gambit joined in, and now they, again, engage is gone from Copenhagen Wolves. They get blown up instantly, and Gambit takes the fight here. So actually a nice setup because Kubon was caught up at the Baron with the rest of Gambit. You just started, forced the TP from YoungBuck so he couldn't keep pushing down his bottom lane. And now, got a perfect fight, got the Baron. And this is the best we've seen Gambit in many, many weeks.
Yeah, I think Diamond's Hex Drinker was pretty much the MVP of that last fight. Saved him at the start of the fight. The little heal that came out from Edward kept him alive, and of course that trained everything off. Diamond, though, got to be cautious here. The rest of the 3 members of the Wolves coming around on this dragon. Gambit have got 3 of these. Wolves just the 1. They want to go on and keep hold of it. Remember, they have got that Baron buff on them. And now the rest of Gambit do react, move into position. Still a 4-on-1. Here's a 5. And that is Gambit securing themselves the 4th dragon of the game.
Looking very good. Nick's really been picking up some kills here in the team fights. Kubon got a lot of kills early, together with Genja, but then Nick, as soon as we got to this 5v5, he's gone in, taking every single kill since, and very, very strong performance on the Ziggs. Just very good poke and zoning potential from all of Gambit.
Yeah, Woolite out of position there. Copenhagen Wolves couldn't defend that one. That's another inner turret going down. So Gambit pushing up. Big wave with them as well, honestly, moving in towards this one. Sorren has to catch it with the ball. There we go. Quick dissonance takes down the majority of the wave. Gambit, of course, do have that Baron buff on themselves. And Unlimited, got to be careful when he gets taken so low. Woolite also, he could get bounced with the explosive cask over that wall. We'll see whether Kubon decides to go for it, but instead he simply gets poked out of it. He has to go to the fountain. Gambit could capitalize in this. Will they push through? Someone needs to tank it. It's Diamond that's going to go for it. They're going to get the damage down. Genja working down that turret. Half the hit points will get shredded off, but Diamond, he can't sit around for too long. Brokenshard stealthed up, going to look towards Pouncing. Nick separated from the team. He's going to pounce towards him. Hasn't got the Frosty stacks. Now he should be able to stun him up. Oh, he wasted it. Nick managed to pull the Zonyas. He will go down, though. That's going to get caught out. Didn't get his ultimate off in time. YoungBuck's going to try and pounce away. Diamond hasn't quite got the damage to finish him off. Aqua Prison catches on towards him. That's a one-on-one trade. Mid laner for top laner. I think Gambit may back away, and honestly, I think the Wolves have done a good job defending because that's a bound-up Gambit that they've managed to face.
And this is what they need to do. Nick was out of position compared to the rest of the Gambit team, so Brokenshard, he jumped him, they managed to get his Hourglass and then collapsed onto him, killed him. Did end up trading for YoungBuck, but still, they make sure Gambit now waste some of the time on the Baron buff, get them back to their own side of the map, and just wait for the Baron to run out, and then you try again. Single out someone from Gambit, get onto him, instant kill the target, and you can still win, or at least go even in fights if you are Copenhagen Wolves.
Speaking of singling someone out, Woolite, he's having to Valkyrie away from this one. Should be clear, and he's home dry. He's managed to shove that top wave out mid lane also. So all waves clear for Unlimited, for the Copenhagen Wolves, sorry. So Gambit back to the start. They have themselves a gigantic lead, remember, 13,000 gold. So no doubt about it, Gambit definitely in the driving seat for this game, and that Baron buff timer will be gone by the time they get close to these turrets. I think the top inner may well be the next focus target for them after the blue for Nick.
Well, they can at least try and do the same thing. Make sure they do have some wards at least on the side. You can really ward in the base of Copenhagen Wolves, so it's hard to avoid every single engage opportunity from Brokenshard, but at least put him on the side to make sure he's forced to run towards you, spot him, move away from the tower, and try and just instant kill him, because he has a full tank, but you have so much damage on the side of Gambit here. If he jumps in by himself, he will get blown up instantly. As long as Gambit is standing together as a team and not eating a 5-man shockwave.
Diamond is at level 17. He's going to go on Brokenshard. This may actually give him his evolution. He's got that quest available if he can get the damage down. Instead, the stun from Brokenshard had that Frosty stacks, and that stopped him. I think he could have been a dead man. 4th evolution for Diamond was just ahead of him. There is only Brokenshard only at 15, but Diamond is 17, remember. So, as it stands, Gambit are pressuring Copenhagen Wolves down and still chasing. This is going to keep the hopes alive for Gambit. You know, we did talk about if they lost this game, then they are simply playing spoiler for the rest of the league. And it seems for Gambit that they just, now that the pressure's off them almost, that they can't get the playoffs, they're playing better.
And also just more time to practice, more time to get some team synergy.
They did spend the whole weekend here as well. They didn't go back this time.
And this is exactly what they need, also looking towards relegation. Just use every single week you have to practice, improve your team synergy, your communication. It's looked a lot better in this game here. If they can keep improving it, they might be able to re-qualify.
YoungBuck getting poked. Unlimited looking to land that death sentence. Diamond continuing. Actually pretty low on mana here, so this Void Spike's going to have to slow down a little bit. He's not going to be able to poke so much. They really want this bottom inhibitor turret. They've worked it down to half the hit points already, and they're ignoring the fact that they could go for that top inner.
Oh,
Brokenshard stealthed up, home guard in, pounces in there, hasn't got the shockwave.
What's the shockwave?
Now it's on him, but it's not close enough. Instead, the shockwave finally pulls in, he catches out Diamond and Edward, but it doesn't matter. The Mega Inferno Bomb turns around from Nick. Belly Slam not landing from Kubon. It was only a 1 death, but it's enough to take the inhibitor turret.
So Brokenshard, he jumped into Gambit. There was no ball on him from Sorren, so they didn't get an instant shockwave. The rest of Copenhagen couldn't collapse onto Gambit in time, and therefore Gambit got to disengage at first and then turn the fight around. Once again, get a kill. YoungBuck, however, looking to chase.
That's a risky chase to do. He will catch down towards Nick, but look at Genja just waiting off the side. Diamond's nearby. Copenhagen Wolves continue to chase. They're trying to force Gambit not to back off. They have good stacks actually in the top and the mid wave, but that is about all they can go. Dragon's up in 40 seconds, Baron up in 40 seconds. They're continuing to pressure Gambit, who are happy to just throw out the mines and walk away.
Walk away once again. Really been there. The story in this game, Gambit, every single time they set something up, they land a lot of Pokemon to Copenhagen Wolves, and once the Wolves try to engage, Gambit backs away.
Brokenshard stealthing. He's looking for kills. He's not going to find them, it seems. His ultimate's run out, but he will keep chasing. Catches on towards Edward and Genja. YoungBuck comes around the side now, though. Mega Inferno Bomb enough. Genja takes him down. Kubon comes around the side. YoungBuck taken very low from this one. Explosive gas forces him back in. Genja just shreds down his health. Nick picks up the final kill, and the Wolves trying to chase on. The Baron up in 4 seconds. Now it spawns, and the Wolves are just dropping like flies. Diamond just going to claw his way through this one. Shockwave not going to land this time.
Be the game.
And Genja gets the kill. They could indeed push up and finish the game right here. 50-second death timers.
Minions in the mid lane here. Super minions coming in the bottom side as well. A long time before the members from Copenhagen respawn. At least should be Inhibitor and the Baron if they don't want to go for the finish. But do they have time?
That turret is going down fast. That's going to be one down. They're going to push on through. That's going to be the inhibitor. Super minions continuing to push the bottom wave. Doesn't matter. They're going to tank this one through. Nexus turret is next. That's going to get focused out. And Limited gets caught out. He gets poked. Woolite also caught out. Sonya's out. That's from Kubon. That's a Genja kill on the fountain. Genja very low on health though. Woolite almost shredded him down. One Nexus turret will fall. The second will go. And Gambit's hopes stay alive. But the Wolves can no longer make promotion as Gambit take victory over the Wolves.
Such a good performance here. We've seen this kind of siege or poke comp from Gambit before, where they just fell behind early and couldn't actually do anything. This game, however, they got the Dragons, they got the goal lead, some very nice TPs by Kubon as well in the early game to make sure they got kills onto Genja, and they used it, took control of the Dragon, poked down Copenhagen Wolves, and just looked so good.
Fantastic performance. Gambit pressure off, and suddenly they're playing well. And would you believe it?
Now the pressure is back.
Plays something other than Caitlyn and goes 7-0-9 on Kog'Maw. Bet you wish you had him as a flex pick in your fantasy team while sitting on the bench right now.
Oh, he's on your bench.
He's on the bench. Well, doesn't matter. You've already won the league.
Very
but
true.
Nonetheless, the game was vital for Gambit. They can still chase down that 7th place. Of course, they still need to go 4-0. It's a big, big deal for them. And the Wolves, though, that puts them out. That puts them out of contention. They are now also facing relegation or promotion playoffs, whichever way you'd like to word it. Everybody knows exactly what it is. It means your World Championship dreams are gone.
And now, get the 7th place so you can choose a team. NIP has lately looked very good in the challenger scene, where H2K had some issues. Could be the difference here if NIP ends up dominating the challenger finals. You want to avoid NIP here, and then you get H2K. But we need to see what happens in the actual challenger finals, because tomorrow we have NIP versus SK Gaming Prime in the Challenger 2 final. If SK Gaming Prime goes in and destroys NIP, maybe they're the team to avoid. We don't really know yet. It's a terrible decision to make because you're looking at all these good teams. You're like, okay, who do we actually want to face? And if you do pick the wrong team and you lose, you look pretty stupid.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been there.
Well,